Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm Get Good Guy, and Battlefield 5 has a bug, but not just a normal bug, not one of the bugs that we're used to, you know, the massive list of bugs and glitches. No, this one is pretty intense and has some people literally quitting the game until it's fixed. And it turns out that it could actually be potentially dangerous, at least for some people, or at least based on the feedback I've received. Yep, for once the whole video games are dangerous thing could actually be true, but not for the usual reasons. I imagine a lot of you who play Battlefield 5 regularly will have a good idea of what I'm talking about. The bug in question is super intense screen flashing on the respawn screen, or what my friends and I simply refer to as epilepsy. And that's basically the point of this video, because rather than just continuing to joke about it, I decided to get onto Twitter and actually ask directly if the flashing is dangerous for epileptics or anyone sensitive to flashing and strobing. And I was genuinely surprised and concerned, to be honest, by some of the feedback. It felt important to make this video and do my part to get the information out there. But first, for those of you who aren't aware of what the glitch is or what it looks like, I'm going to show it, but I'm going to count down to it. So anyone who is epileptic or has fears of being epileptic or has any concerns about flashing images, I'll show you the timestamp on screen here of where you can skip to so you don't have to watch it. Please don't take the risk. Okay, so I'll show the glitch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's pretty bad, right? You can see how that could cause some people a problem. I honestly can't say I've come across anything like that in a video game before. Now we'll get to the Twitter responses and what concerns me, but first, a few relevant points. So some people may say, well, he's clearly overreacting or just trying to find something for a video. And I can at least somewhat understand that due to the current trend of clickbait YouTube videos. But actually, I had a family member die from having a fit. I'm not sure if it was epileptic or otherwise, and I'm not going to go and ask my family about it because it's not a great topic, but that makes it very clear in my mind that such events can be extremely serious, and I wouldn't want it to happen to someone else, especially if I could pre-warn them about it. The second point is that games do have warnings about flashing and such like. It's pretty standard practice. I was sent an image via a tweet that was supposedly from BF5, which was such a warning, but that person has since deleted the tweet, which obviously cast doubt upon it, so I tried to find such a warning for myself within the game, and I couldn't. Not during the startup process, nor in the menus. Now there may well be one and I missed it, or it may happen when you first load the game up and have to agree to it, but even so, it hardly suffices for this glitch if I'm looking for it and can't find it and don't remember seeing one before. And I assume it would be something that passes by normal gamers and epileptics alike because it's on almost all games, if it is something that's shown when you first play the game. This current issue clearly wasn't intended to be part of the game, and no epileptic could reasonably be expected to assume they'd encounter that flashing mess. For example, it's not unusual for roller coasters and theme parks to have warnings and such. They essentially say the park isn't liable for injuries sustained on the ride, that is, unless something goes wrong, which covers their back but also lets you know that, something can happen. And generally, if they're aware of something being wrong, they close the ride and fix it. If they left it open knowing that there's a glitch that could cause people to smash their faces in, well, that would be a problem. And even more so without a specific warning about it, because it's not something that was intended when the ride was made, and not really something that was considered as being standard practice for going on the ride. But that's where we are with BF5, it seems. The ride has been left open and no temporary, very clear warning has been put in place. Why isn't there currently a message that comes up that can't be avoided to let people know about the flashing bug, just until it's fixed, something temporary? I'm genuinely surprised about this. Obviously the counter argument is that we haven't heard of this doing anyone any serious harm so far, or at least I haven't, but that won't count for much if it does end up causing injury or death or something else afterwards. You can't be too careful with these things. And so I asked on Twitter, does anyone know if the flashing issue in BF5 is actually potentially dangerous for epileptics? As I'm not epileptic and didn't want to assume anything, I kind of thought, well, if nothing has really been done about it, then it's probably okay. But then I started to get the responses. I'll just select a few, but there were a number of at least slightly concerning ones. Lady Lynn said that she's essentially had to stop playing due to the kill cam and death flicker, later saying that the kill cam did actually cause a seizure for her at one point, and her husband had to come and help her out. Now, I'm not sure if what she's talking about is directly linked to the flashing I've shown, or whether it's to do with the multiple other death and kill cam related bugs, but we're off to a bad start. Then, Light1978 said he showed his co-worker the glitch very briefly, who I assume is an epileptic or something of the like, and he said it would likely put him in hospital, which doesn't sound good. Then Boarding Fox said he's received thanks for warning people about it, as it could likely have given those people a seizure. Commander Wacky is sensitive to flashing, and he says it makes him feel nauseous. The video game historian said that he had mild epilepsy when he was younger. Thankfully he's okay now after years of medicine, but he still had to stop playing BF5 due to the flickering giving him headaches and causing him to feel sick. Then Crafter said that while he isn't epileptic, he is sensitive to flashing, and while he has no issues at concerts or nightclubs, BF5's flashing gives him a headache. And then I'll round out with a Send Neon saying that he was amazed there wasn't a server update to show on the menu that this issue could be potentially harmful. Now that is just a snapshot of what I received, but I assume the vast majority of you can see why I'm concerned about it, and why I feel more should have been done to warn people. Whether it can ultimately cause death, which obviously is very extreme and highly unlikely, or simply a few headaches and anything in between, this isn't really something we're used to and honestly doesn't seem acceptable. Thankfully it has been confirmed that there is a fix coming. It looks like it may even be why the latest update is delayed until next week, so I'm pleased overall that this is being treated as a priority. It just would have been even better if more had been done about it in the meantime. We don't yet have a date confirmed for the update and thus the fix for this, but I'll bring the information to you next week when it drops. And so please give me your feedback in the comments below. What do you think about this? What would you have done differently if you were in control? And did you feel any ill effects from looking at the glitch? I hope this video will be of value to at least some of you. It felt like one I really needed to make. Please feel free to share it if you're concerned or want help out. And also from a more self-centered perspective, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join my Discord server in the description and my pinned comment. Here's the Board of Awesome for the epic people who support the channel on Patreon. They're all absolute heroes and I love them all deeply and often. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I'm Get Good Guy, and I'll see you next time. Laters.